Hello students, once again a very warm welcome to you all in the chemistry classes, and that too the organic chemistry. So what we were discussing in the last class, I had given you certain bond line representations and I wanted for you to actually represent these bond line representations into a complete structural representation. So you need to do that. I hope everybody has tried out, I hope everybody has done it. Let us just now quickly discuss each one of them. So what do I have at the very first side? I have got here a ring kind of a structure, then with certain representations. So as I told you, these corners will represent the carbons, and if not mentioned, these open ends will be nothing but methyls, again a carbon. So let us just have a skeleton of this. So the first one here, first one would be a carbon, carbon, 6-membered ring. So that is what we want. I hope everybody has done it right. This is a kind of a skeleton of the molecule. Now I need to assign the proper valencies, the proper hydrogens attached. So 1, 2, that means I need to attach 2 more. Again I need to attach 2 more here as well. Always remember that carbon is tetravalent, it will be having 4 bonds. So 4 bonds would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That is how you do it. All the hydrogens you need to represent, and over here carbon is the valency of the carbon. The 3 valencies are already occupied here. I need to attach only 1 hydrogen. So it would be this. Now again 1 hydrogen, and since this is a methyl group, 3 hydrogens. So this is the entire structural representation. Can I condense this? Yes, I can condense this. So let us just condense this formula. It is CH2, CH2. So I hope some of you have written the formula like this ways. This is a 6-membered ring, again attached with a carbon, that is CH, CH3, CH3. So that was the compound which was given. This is the condensed form. And I hope everybody has got it right. We are through with the first part. Let us just move on to the next very part. What is the answer for the next? So the next here is, it would be, again, let us just discuss this first. So these corners again, what are these? The carbons, and if you look here very carefully, I have got a triple bond between these 2 carbon atoms. So I need to do that as well. So let us just have the answer over here. It would be carbon, 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 carbon again, a triple bond and a carbon again. That is how you need to represent here. Now if you see here, I need to complete again the number of hydrogens. So it could be, this is a methyl, the open end CH3. Here I have got 2 hydrogens. Here again I have got 2 hydrogens. If you see over here, all the 4 valencies are occupied. I need not attach any hydrogen. Here as well, no hydrogen attached. And if this carbon, again this is methyl, 3 hydrogens attached. Also, what can you do here in this case to simplify the structure is to have a proper straight chain. If you look very carefully, this is nothing but a straight chain. I can have a straight chain instead of this. That means I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atoms. And these 2 carbon atoms are attached with a triple bond. So that is how you can make the structure as well. Again, what you need to do, having the 3 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens, do not forget to connect the carbons. No hydrogens needed, again 3 hydrogens. So I hope everybody has got it right. If I can have a condensed form of this, it would be CH3, CH2, CH2, so that is the condensed version. I hope everybody has got it right. It is very simple idea. Now if I move on to the number 3, I am through with 2. So 3 has got 2 things. Now just pay very careful attention here that these ends over here, as I told you, if there is no mentioning of the end, it would be considered as methyl. But here the ends have been mentioned. One end is of OH, the other end is of cyano group. That means I need to have, instead of methyls, these two groups attached. Let us just have the form. It would be NC, a carbon, and OH. So that is the group they are showing us. So it is, again I need to attach the hydrogens. Here you do not have to complete the number of hydrogens because this carbon is already triply bonded. So I hope everybody has got it. This is cyano group, carbon is triply bonded. There is no requirement of the hydrogen over here. The only requirement is in the remaining 2 carbon atoms. So what is the condensed version? It is that is the condensed version of this very compound given. I hope everybody is right here. Now let's move on to this very compound, a very simple compound again, seems to be complicated yet. So it is carbon, 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 so many carbon atoms. I've got a branch as well. So this is a branch, this is a branch, I've got 2 branches over here. How do I represent? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me just write the 5 carbons first. So it is 5 carbons I have written. The second carbon has 1 methyl group attached. That means 1 more carbon it has been attached. Now if you see the second carbon or the second last carbon, it is getting attached with 1, 2, 3. That means 3 more carbons. So it's a chain of carbons. 1, 2, 3. You can have any kind of structural representation. You can bend these carbons, you can curve these carbons, anything you would like, but you need to mention 3 carbons attached in a single chain. So that is what you need to do. Again, I need to complete the hydrogens. It's a methyl. So again, I need to attach 1 hydrogen in order to complete 4 bonds. Here it is also a methyl. 2 hydrogens. I hope everybody is following me. That is what you need to do. Again what? 2 carbons, 2 carbons, 3 carbons. So that is how you are going to represent this very molecule. It's quite important. So can I condense this? Yes, CH3 followed by CH attached with CH3, CH, CH3, and this CH is attached with further 3 carbons, CH2, CH2, CH3. So see over here how simple the molecule has become. It was earlier this, and now what we have got is a molecule like this, so simple. So the main purpose of bond line representations and the condensed representations is actually to simplify the molecule, because the organic compounds are so big that we cannot have a complete structural representations of all the hydrogens and all the groups present. So you need to have a condensed version or a bond line version of that. So that is the purpose of different representations. Now let us just move on to one more kind of a representation, that is the 3D representation here. So let's just move on to the 3D representation. So as I told you in the last session, what is the 3D representation? It is nothing but wedge dash representation. Representation that is known as wedge dash representation. What is a wedge and what is a dash? Actually, a molecule is never in a plane of paper. It can be or cannot be. If it has got a trigonal planar, then it can be represented as a triangle within the plane of board. If it has got a linear shape, again it can be represented in a plane of paper. But if it has got tetrahedral shape, then I need to look the molecule in a 3D manner. So you need to have a 3D representation of the molecules, because molecules are also again occupying space. Anything which is occupying space will be present in the 3D dimensions, will not be present in the 2D but 3D. Each and every molecule, each and every atom, if you see an atom, it has got an electron cloud around it. So that cloud is not 2D but 3D because it is in the real world. So all of the things over here are 3D. That means we can see not just a simple plain sheet, but each and every part of that particular thing. If you see over here, I can represent this as one single line, but that would be a 2D representation. If I need to judge that what are the sides, what are the edges, what are the curves present in this, then I need to have a 3D representation of the molecule. That is why we use shading in the drawings. The people out there who are actually very good artists, very good at drawing, they must be knowing how we represent the shadows, how we represent the shades within a picture, how we represent the still life pictures in order to make them 3D, in order to represent them as 3D. So just like that, in the drawing part, we draw the 3D representations of the organic molecules as well. So let us just have a look at the 3D representations. I am taking up the very simple molecule over here, that is of methane. Methane, we have discussed the condensed formula for methane. What is the structural formula for methane? Complete structural formula is like this. And if you want to have a proper shape of the molecule, it is the tetrahedral shape. So the shape of the molecule is tetrahedral. That means what? It will be definitely be represented in 3D. So I have got 4 hydrogens connected with this carbon in a 3D manner. So these dashes around these atoms represent a kind of a 3D representation. But still, every time it is difficult to draw such pictures. So I need a simpler representation which must be 3D. So let us just have that. It is nothing but known as the wedge dash representation. That means I've got a carbon in between. Let me just rub that off. Okay, I've got a carbon in between. I represent 2 hydrogen atoms in the plane of paper. Let us just assume that these 2 hydrogens are in plane of paper and the remaining 2 are actually, one is lying behind this board and one is lying towards U. That means I need to have a 3D representation. So let me just draw that first. It is it would be like this. So let me just mention the hydrogens here. What is this kind of a representation? I am actually shading this area, the entire area. That is how you represent it. You need to shade the area properly. So this is known as the wedge. And as you see over here, you must be very familiar with the name as well. This is known as dash. Wedge and a dash, super easy. Now what is the meaning of wedge and what is the meaning of dash? So the wedge is group of atom, the atom lying towards you, lying above the plane, so basically it represents something which is above the plane. That is how it would be. And dash represents something which is below the plane or behind the plane. So it is below or behind the plane. That means lying away from you, behind that board, and it will always be lying in this manner. That means at this axis only it will be. So I hope everybody has got it. These two bonds over here, this one and this one, are always in the plane of paper. These are always in the plane of paper, these two bonds that I am talking about. Let me just highlight these. So these are the two which are actually lying in the plane of paper, actually lying in the plane of board, you can say. This is the wedge which is lying towards you. The dash is lying away from you, that is below this plane, behind this board. I hope everybody has got it. That is how we represent a 3D representation for an organic molecule. You need not go into the detail. We will definitely be discussing the detail of such kind of representations in the later chapters. But now let us just move on to the classification of organic compounds. How can we classify in different classes, in different fields, how can we put the organic compounds? So there is an entire range of class of organic compounds. So let us just discuss that. What do we have? I am rubbing this off. So I have got the classification of organic compounds. So how can you classify the organic compounds? How can you judge the organic compounds? So the first judgment or the first class is having a ring or not having a ring. So first is having a ring or not having a ring. Let me just reduce this a bit. Now it's perfect. So first is the acyclic compounds or the cyclic compounds. So you need to remember the technical terms over here. You cannot write that one is having a cyclic ring and the other is not having a cyclic ring. So it is acyclic and cyclic. What is acyclic? That is also known as the open chain compounds. So it is also known as open chain. Also known as aliphatic compounds. Open chain or aliphatic compounds. So these are the different names assigned to acyclic, having open chains having no ring structure. These are what? These are known as closed chain or ring-like structures. Now cyclic is again divided into two. What kind of cyclic we can get? I can get homocyclic or heterocyclic. Homocyclic, and as I just discussed, what is homo and hetero? Homo means similar kind of atoms. That means here I am talking about only and only carbon. So homocyclic or heterocyclic. So what all the homocyclic include? Homocyclic has two, again two. One is the alicyclic. So homocyclic means having all the atoms which are formed by the carbon atoms. So that is, it could be a ring like this, okay, and it could be having so many bonds in it, and those rings having so many bonds in it, those are known as aromatic. So I have got alicyclic, alicyclic or aromatic. Also in the category of aromatics, I have got the benzenoid structures or non-benzenoid structures. What is benzenoid? Benzene-like structures or non-benzene-like structures. So they are further divided into benzenoid, non-benzenoid. So that is the class of the entire classification of organic compounds. I hope everybody has got a slight idea about it. We are going to discuss each one of them separately, but before that, just try to note this down. So I hope everybody has noted this down. Let us just discuss the examples for each one of them. So first I will be dealing with acyclic and then cyclic. So let us just move on. For the acyclic, what are acyclic? Those which are not cyclic, that means open chain. So those are which are open chain. That means all which we have discussed so far, non-ring structures having no such kind of rings. That means structures like this. Basic, what is this? This is propane. So that is propane. That is what? Acyclic, having no ring. Or what can I have in the terms of functional group if I see? So again I am saying I will be dealing with the functional groups as well. So you must be having a little idea about the functional groups. What are the functional groups? Those which are attached with the carbon chains and are actually responsible for the chemical properties. So I will be dealing with the definition as well. So this is another kind of a functional group. So over here, this is known as ketone. So again, it is a non-ring structure. What can I have next? can have ample amount of examples, millions and millions of compounds having no rings. So these compounds are included in the acyclic, also known as aliphatic. Also known as aliphatic compounds. So I hope everybody is clear with the idea. Acyclic is super simple, having very straight chain structures, or I can have different kinds of branches in the structure, but no ring is required. I want no ring structures here. So I hope everybody is clear with the idea. Let's move on to the cyclic part. So what all does the cyclic rings have? So cyclic is divided into homo and hetero. Homo means having similar kind of atoms, and what kind of atoms I am dealing with? Carbons and only carbons. So let us just move on to the homocyclic first. Homocyclic, I need to have cyclic rings here. A very simple homocyclic ring. What is this known as? It has got 6 carbon atoms. This is the bond line representation. 6 carbons, hex, but it is a cyclic ring, that means it is known as cyclohexane. Very simple. So that is a homocyclic ring, and a homocyclic is further divided into alicyclic as well as aromatic. So what is alicyclic? Alicyclic is having simply the rings, not having any kind of conjugation. So you need to just mug this up, that is not having aromaticity, or I can say the conjugation. I'll be dealing with these terms, aromaticity and the conjugation, in the next session, and let us just have alicyclic ones. This is alicyclic, this is also alicyclic, again I am going to write that. What else I can have in alicyclic? I can have any kind of ring, just what you need to remember is there must be no double, single, double, such kind of a scenario in the entire ring. That is what is known as conjugation. I'll be dealing up with this topic in detail in the next session, along with the aromatic compounds which are benzenoid or non-benzenoid structures. What is benzene exactly? So that is what you need to have an idea about in the next session, and also just to revise what we have done so far. Have a good day.